Hello and welcome back to Miami Realty Rundown. This is
Carlos.
and Ideal, your hosts. Today's hot topic is renting versus buying. Should we buy a home or should we continue renting?
I don't know. So, I mean, like, a lot of the younger generation, right? The ones like my kids are in their 20s, they're seeing that renting is better for them. They're setting off in their careers right now. So they really can't make roots where they are, which is what you do when you buy. So, like, my son just moved to Fort Myers, my oldest. So he got a job over there. Well, obviously he has to go over there and rent. There's no sense in buying. You don't really know what's going to happen in the next year. So he rents. So I guess it depends on your age, what you're doing in your life.
Money,
right? So renting is it's a little bit cheaper. In the gist, all you got to do is 3 months, really. Worst case, 3 months of rent, depending on what you're renting, of course. So about $2,500. You're looking at $7,500 to start. But by the end of the year, you're going to pay $30,000 in rent.
Yep.
The only con I see there is you don't get anything for it.
Yeah, you're just basically paying someone else's mortgage, right?
Which is how I look at it.
Yeah.
But then again, I've owned a house for 12 years.
Same here, but I think it boils down to, like you said, your kids, right?
Right.
They don't have a steady job yet. For them, renting.
Yeah, they're starting their careers.
Of course, they don't have. Let's say when you buy a home, you're buying everything. You're responsible for everything, right? And these I don't want to say kids, but they're obviously our babies, right?
Kids.
They don't have the money or the knowledge to maybe even fix a refrigerator.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I just don't think that they want that responsibility.
That too, absolutely.
They just want to leave it up to the landlord. If it breaks, okay, it's broken. Come fix it.
Right, but it's things that fall upon a homeowner at that point, and not every millennial is cut out for that or wants that responsibility at that point.
Sorry, we're going off on a tangent.
Yeah.
But I don't know where millennial starts and Gen Z.
Oh, me either.
So I think I'm considered a millennial. So I was born in 1977.
I'm 85.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
It's okay. They can do the math. I'm 85.
Probably look like I was born in 1965. According to my youngest daughter, so 1,000 years old. But I don't know where millennials really start, and so the kids, you guys that are in your 20s right now,
early 30s.
Early 30s. Yes, I don't know if they really want that responsibility. Yeah. I think it's more that and the fact that they can pick up and go.
It's flexibility along with mobility,
right?
A lot of these places where if it's a rental community, you have the option, if you have good credit, you come in with 1 month. Buying a home is maybe even 5 times that or more, depending on the purchase price, right?
$400,000 home is $20,000. If you're doing 20%, it's $20,000 off the bat. So just down payment, not closing costs and everything else.
Yep.
So yeah, I can see. I mean, in some aspects, yeah, I can see why they would.
Yeah.
I see it differently, obviously, because we're in the business. Not to say that we prefer people that are buying over people that are renting, but there's a bigger advantage to owning, right? So you get tax credits. You can depreciate equity. You can build money. So if you bought it last year, obviously you've made money on the house that you bought because it's gone up probably $100,000.
Yeah.
So when you're renting, you don't get to benefit out of that. Your landlord benefits out of that.
Right.
So that's how I see it. I have the mentality of not making somebody else rich, but making myself rich, or try to.
Right. And, I guess we can talk about a little bit going into the advantages of being a homeowner, right? When you're renting, you can't quite customize a home. Well, you can, right? But you kind of have to give it back.
Or you're limited.
Correct. Yeah. Or they tell you, you can paint whatever color you want, but you have to put it back to a neutral color, right?
White,
if I like teal or, I don't know, I have a little a baby on the way and I want pink and or blue, something more personal, you can, but then you're limited, like
You're
you
limited,
said, right?
right.
If you own a home, then yes, I can do whatever I want to my
can do whatever you
personal
want to it,
taste.
right.
I don't have to worry about pets. Do they allow pets? In my own home, I can have whatever
want
type
'em.
of pet I want. 5 dogs, 3 cats, a zoo if you
Yep.
wanted to, right? So I feel like, yes, there's advantages obviously to buying a home, but there may be also advantages when you have these younger,
Hipsters.
I guess, to renting, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's always that advantage, and I do understand why they
I
want
get
to
it.
rent.
I
You
get
know,
it.
I do get it. But in the long run, I always, to as many people as I can talk to, prepare yourself to own a home, because you don't have anything until you own real estate. It's not the home, it's the land that you own, right?
Right.
So you don't really have anything until you own a piece of land.
Right. You're just borrowing from somebody else
Exactly.
for the time limited. And the fact that also let's say you get into a lease, right? So it's a year. At the end of that year, the owner can say bye-bye.
Correct.
Now you got to start
Or
again.
up your rent.
Or up your rent, which
So
is
there goes-
there's no guarantee that it's going to be the same rent. Usually, I'm sure a lot of you are experiencing it, where they're upping it every year because things are getting more expensive.
Yes.
So their costs go up, your costs go up,
Of course.
and there's no way for you to limit that. You can't. You're at their mercy.
Or even if they want to sell. I've
If-
come across plenty of clients who have told me I need to move because my landlord is selling.
Yes. Right.
So it's a constant, you know, you're not, I guess, not living in peace if you're thinking about those things or knowing that it's coming up, right?
Right.
Yeah. Whereas if you own a home, that's something that is
Yeah.
stable.
Again, you're planting your roots. So I know some of you in your 20s don't want or can't or don't want to plant roots because your careers are taking off, your lives are changing. You know, depending on your career path, it might take you to a different state or it might take you somewhere else. So, yeah, you don't want to buy it because then you got to worry about selling.
Correct.
Or you can always rent it and make money. That's another option that you have. That's another advantage of owning. You can rent it, generate, at least pay off your mortgage every month while you move somewhere
And it's
else.
a house that you have paying itself off. You have a tax break.
Building equity.
You're building equity still, and you're at least letting it pay off. It's paying itself off.
So there's pros and cons to it. So I guess, yeah, really sit down, think about what your real intentions are. Does it work for me? Does it not work for me?
Right.
And think in the future. And if you need to speak with somebody else, a parent, an advisor or something, maybe you need to see what your best course of action is.
Correct.
Don't just be like, oh, I don't want to deal with it and just rent. But it could benefit you to buy if you have the money.
Yeah.
If you have a good career, good paying job,
Or at least start getting in the mindset, right?
right? Yeah,
Of
preparing
yourself for that purchase,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether if it's Florida or any other state or city within Florida, wherever the case may be, wherever life takes you,
Right.
At least have a goal in place of where you want to be in the next 10 years, 15 years, so that you're not just moving from place to place.
Yeah. So, I think, you know, if you guys have questions about it, yes, please comment below. Or you can tag us, you know, DM us on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
And we can answer those questions. We can meet with you. We can kind of go through what you're thinking, future plans, see which is the best course of action for you. You know, and see you might rent for a little bit, and then kind of save up to where you can buy, you know, and then buy. And if life takes you somewhere else, then we can help you there as well.
Absolutely.
You know, to rent that and generate income. And that's how really people build wealth, is really, at least through real estate, is you buy something, you rent it, and you do the process all over again.
Which brings me to a point. I always try to, let's say I have, you know, someone who is moving out of state, but they're a current homeowner, right?
Right.
Oh, I need to sell. Well, let's think about renting it out.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of selling it, yes, you have all that equity that you built within the time you lived in it.
Yeah.
But what if you can leave it rented, make money,
Mm-hmm.
passive income, while you're, you know, going off to your new endeavor?
Right.
Which is something that I try. Yeah, I'd love to make double commission. or think about, having double. But I'd rather educate, and let them know that, it's not always about selling. Maybe think about being a landlord.
Yeah, it's not always, even when you talk to us, it's our point is not to sell to you.
Correct. It's
Right?
to
It's not
educate
to
you on
force
what's
you
best.
to do one way or the other. But yeah, to educate you, because today it may not work for you, but next year it might, or the year after.
Correct.
So we're here to help you and kind of guide you to whatever works for you.
Right.
So it may not be now. It may be 5 years down the road. Whenever it is, it doesn't really matter. So if you have the questions, yeah, ask us. We're here to answer them. If we need to get on a phone call or Zoom, or I don't know if people still use Skype. I don't know.
I haven't heard that in a while,
I
actually.
haven't heard that yet. Actually, I heard it last week, and I was like, Skype. I forgot about it. Whatever. FaceTime. I don't have FaceTime because I'm an Android user.
Oh, boy.
I don't like well, I'm not going to say that. I might turn people off for all you iPhone users out there. But anyway, there's other ways to contact me. And we can have a chat and see what happens.
Yeah.
The worst case, the best thing for you is to get educated.
Yeah.
So if you have, the more knowledge you have, the better you can make your decisions.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you know where to find us. Make sure you've subscribed.
Ring that bell.
There you go. And see you next time.